Hello everyone, myself Hardi Vora and my today's topic is subverting the canon, feminism and identity in four. Here are my personal information, table of content, and my research question is how does J.M. Coetzee for utilize the feminism and post-colonial perspective to subvert the literary canon, and what role do silence and marginalization play in reconstructing narratives of identity and agency. Hypothesis is James Coetzee for effectively subverts the canonical narrative of Robinson Crusoe by foregrounding feminist and post-colonial perspectives using silence and marginalization of characters such as Susan Barton and Friday to challenge traditional construct of identity, agency, and authorship. This approach demonstrates the limitations of canonical text in representing diverse voice and underscores the necessity of alternative narratives to achieve inclusivity and equity in literature. Let's start with introduction. Firstly, what is the meaning of subverting canon? Subverting the canon means to intentionally challenge or overturn the established, widely accepted narrative within a particular field, often by presenting alternative perspectives, characters, or narratives that contradict the traditional norms or power structures within that canon. Essentially, it's about actively going against to the standard or official understanding of the of something to disrupt the existing hierarchy. The James Coetzee's four is a subverting canon of Robinson Crusoe. Here are the introduction of James Coetzee. John Maxwell Coetzee, born in Cape Town, South Africa, and he also was awarded and honors like Nobel prizes and Booker prizes. And let's see the short summary of James Coetzee's main work. Four is a 1986 novel by James Coetzee that retells the story of Robinson Crusoe from the perspective of Susan Barton and a castaway on an island. The novel introduces Susan Barton as a female narrator and reimagines the event on Crusoe's island. It critiques colonial, patriarchal, and canonical literary traditions. Through the characters like Friday, it explores the themes of silence, marginalization, and identity. Four blurs the boundaries between authorship, truth, and fiction. It emphasizing the alternative narratives. Second one is subverting the canon. Coetzee's critics Robinson Crusoe for reinforcing Eurocentric dominance through its portrayal of colonization and control over the other. Here, the other represent the character of Friday. He challenges patriarchal norms by introducing Susan Barton, a female protagonist who resists being silenced in a male-driven narrative. As a male author, Coetzee amplifies a woman's voice in the context of Defoe's canonical tale. The novel represents post-colonial literature's freedom from traditional narrative boundaries. Susan Barton is a feminist showcasing women's struggle, conflicts, and freedoms in a post-colonial society. Here, women's struggles uh, represent the Susan Barton's whole experience of island and how she helped Friday in his hardships. Four offers Susan Barton's perspective, reimagining the Crusoe's adventures through a woman's lens. Susan explores Crusoe's island while striving to author her own story. Her voice alternates between personal truths and societal expectations imposed on women. The novel highlights the tension between agency and conformity in a patriarchal context. Third one is feminism info. Susan Barton represents the feminist struggle to reclaim voice and agency in a patriarchal narrative. Feminism info critiques the cultural production that perpetuates women's oppression. Susan embodies resistance to patriarchal expectations, aligning her struggle with post-colonial subjugation. The novel highlights the cor- convergence of feminist and post-colonial concerns through Susan's voice and silence. Susan's silence becomes an alternative from of storytelling, challenging the oppressor's ideology. Four underscores the political relevance of feminist resistance within a broader post-colonial context. Fourth one is identity and silence. Here, this particular point is represent the Friday's character. Friday represent the silenced other, embodying the colonial ensure of native voices and agency. His inability to speak or highlights the enforced muteness of colonized subject under imperialism. The ambiguity surrounding Friday's multilated body symbolizes the violent suppression of identity and autonomy. Susan's ambiguous language reflects the struggle to articulate Friday's trauma and silencing. Friday's violated body served as a post-colonial metaphor for the cultural and physical oppression of enslaved and native people. His silence contrasts with Susan's constrained voice, emphasizing layered from the marginalization. Susan, in the Neiman articles, he pointed out that Susan articulates the ambiguous nature of Friday's whole story. Susan articulates that Crusoe gazed steadily back at to me, though I cannot now swear to it. I believe he was smiling. Perhaps the slavers who are Moors hold the tongue to be a delicacy, he said, or perhaps they grew weary of listening to Friday's wails of grief that went on day and night. Perhaps they wanted to prevent him from ever telling his story, who he was. Where his home lay, how it came about that he was taken. Perhaps they cut or the tongue of the every cannibal they took as a punishment. How will we ever know the truth? Friday embodies a collective history of oppression with his body serving as a text of colonial violence. His silence and physical wounds symbolize the erasure of identity and voice under colonial domination. Susan's attempt to teach Friday to write result in empty circles, symbolizing his communicative and sexual absence. Friday's silenced body speaks symbolically, negating its muted condition through its wounds and presence. Attempts to voice Friday's story often risk appropriating his narrative, highlighting the complexities of representing the colonized. Fifth one is postmodern narrative techniques. Foo employs fragmented storytelling to disrupt linear narrative structure and a challenge to traditional storytelling norms. Metafiction in the novel questions the authority and reliability of canonical narratives. The interplay of language and silence de-establish to establish the truths, emphasizing the marginalized perspectives. Susan's narrative reflects the self-awareness and critiques the constructions of truth in storytelling. Friday's silence serves as a counter-narrative, highlighting the limitations of language in representing colonial histories. Friday's story remains a gap in the narrative, or Susan puts it a puzzle or hole in the narrative. She tells Foe in a letter to tell me my story and be silent on Friday's tongue in a no better than offering a book or a book for sale with pages in a quietly left empty. Yet the only tongue that can tell Friday's secret is the tongue he has lost. Silent and mutilated as he is, Friday has no voice or history in the dominant Western discourse. He's a story that cannot be told by others. It can be appropriated like a Susan's own story, but it cannot be an authentic one without Friday's validation. In one sense, Susan and Friday rejects being represented in colonialist language and patriarchal discourse. They have to find their own language and communicate it in their own ways, not using the phallic tongue, pen, or patriarchal literary creativity presided over by a writer like Foe. In conclusion, Four reimagines canonical literature, offering a platform for marginalized voices and silenced histories. Kudzi's critiques the reliability of traditional narratives by blending feminist and post-colonial perspectives. The novel underscores the limitations of language and capturing identity in the operation. Through the silence and fragmented storytelling, Four challenges readers to question the authority and authorship in literature. Ultimately, it calls for the inclusion of diverse narratives to reshape our understanding of history and identity. Here are my references, and thank you. If you have a question, you can feel free to ask.
So, Hardik, my question is for you that how does the James Coetzee, who employs the metaphor of silence to critique colonial narratives, and what implications does this have for the representation of marginalized identities?
Jane Coetzee employs the metaphor of silence, particularly in Friday's character, and it implies implications have uh, represent of marginalized identity. For example, Susan's character, how she trying to support Friday, and how she tried to talk with the Defoe to the authorship of for the narrative.
My question for you is, in what ways does the fragmental storytelling info challenge traditional narrative structures, and how does this align with the novel's post-story?
Fragmented storytelling info challenging traditional narrative structure. With the subverting canonical type as a Defoe as James Coetzee tries to subvert the Robinson Crusoe's novel and its character in his foe. That is a kind of a fragmental storytelling, traditional and this as a foe, as James Coetzee tries to retell the narrative structure in the from the Robinson Crusoe. Uh, that's why the novel's post-colonial theme uh, challenges to traditional narrative structure. Thank you.